Hi y'all, welcome to Delicious Dishes by Diana, and I'm Diana. Today in my small kitchen, we're going to make a casserole. It's a Southwestern dish, a dish that I got from some friends at church in New Mexico when we lived in Albuquerque, New Mexico. This is a delicious dish. It's ground beef, hash browns, Ro Tel, cheese, corn, and green chilies. I think you're going to like this. Let me show you how we do this. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set my oven temperature to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, I have my casserole dish ready. I'm going to have some ground meat in this dish, some Southwestern or Southwest corn. It has poblano and red peppers in it, some Ro Tel, some diced green chilies, some Velveeta cheese. Now you can substitute any kind of cheese you want. We just like Velveeta. And the last thing, hash browns with onions and bell peppers. Oh, it wasn't the last thing. The last thing, taco seasoning. Let me show you how to do this. First thing I'm going to do is tie up my hair. I don't want any of this hair in anybody's food. Yuck. Let's see if I can get this tied up here. There we go. Okay. I'm going to get the skillet turned on and my spatula. I'm going to open up this package of lean ground meat. This is actually, don't have my glasses on, 93.7. Drop that in the pan, that in the sink. Get this browned up. Make sure there's no plastic in it. There we go. Get this started. I really like this recipe. It's really good. First time I had it was at a homeschool function at church, and this was on the buffet that we had. Everybody brought it at potluck, and I thought, this looks interesting, and it was not only interesting, it was delicious. Let's get that sizzling up. I'm just going to chop up this and brown it. And because this is so lean, there's not going to be a whole lot of fat drippings in this. But I will drain off the drippings before I put it in the casserole dish. Okay, here's my casserole dish. And I'm going to go ahead and put my hash browns in here in this casserole. Casserole, not cash-a-roll, but casserole. The thing I like about this recipe is that I don't have to chop the onions and the bell peppers. It's already in here. I just have to add the seasoning, the dry seasoning, and I don't have to do a lot of chopping. And this is great for somebody who wants something homemade but doesn't want to spend the time doing a lot of chopping. Okay, now while that is browning, I'm going to multitask here. Ooh, I need to wipe that lid off. Okay, new can opener. The old one died, and this one is a little bit harder to get started than the other one was. Got that one open. Throw it in my trash bowl in the sink. Gonna open up my Southwest corn and see if I can get this one started easier. Yeah. Okay, Southwest corn. All these have good Southwest flavors. The green chilies, the poblano peppers, the red peppers. Now this one I'm going to drain in just a second. And also the green chilies. Even though the Ro Tel has green chilies in it, we're going to add a little extra green chilies because in New Mexico, yeah, especially in Albuquerque, they like their green chilies. When you go eat breakfast and you order eggs, do you want that with red or green? Red or green what? I'm from Texas. I don't know what you're talking about. Red or green chili? None. I don't want any green chili on my eggs. But after a while, you get used to it. Okay, my meat is just about done. I'm waiting to see, make sure that there's no more pink in it. Kind of breaking up the large pieces with my spatula. I bought some new spatulas, but they just don't work as well as my spatula, my green spatula. It's a little bit more sturdy than the new ones. All right, there we go. Now see, there's not a whole lot of fat in this. There's hardly any fat in this at all. I'm going to get a napkin and some tongs and run the napkin around in there and put it in a bowl just to get the residual fat. See, just run it around in the bottom and it'll pick up a little bit of that fat. Because this is such a lean meat, not a whole lot of fat in it when they process the meat. All right, see, there was some though, just a little bit. There we go. I'll put that over here. I'm gonna add some of this cheese here to the ground meat pot. I'll put a little bit in there. I'm not gonna use the whole thing, probably half. Just break it up. It makes it easier to melt. It'll melt quicker. I'll just use a fork. It works better than a knife. There we go. I want to taste the other things too. I don't want to just taste cheese. All right, there we go. Next thing I'm going to add, I'm going to move this back a little bit. It's the Ro Tel, juice and all. Going to add in the corn, no juice. Last thing is the green chilies. That's all the canned vegetables. Give this a little stir. Let it continue to melt. Stir it. As a matter of fact, before I get it all good and stirred, I'm going to sprinkle in some taco seasoning. I'm going to use about a tablespoon and probably a tablespoon and a teaspoon of taco seasoning. Had to pause. Seasoning made me almost sneeze. Now the meat is still hot and I don't have the heat on the stove. I'm just melting this. That's all I want to do. Just get it melted. The heat from the meat is going to melt nicely in here. And if you want to, you can add cheddar cheese. You can add a Mexican blend, a Spanish blend, Italian blend. I don't care what kind of blend you put in it. We use Velveeta in this recipe. All right. I'm thinking that this is pretty nicely combined. The cheese will go ahead and continue to melt, especially in the oven when it's cooking. And there we have our onion, bell pepper, poblano pepper, and red bell pepper. I think I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit, not a lot, just to season the potatoes, just a little bit. Give it a little bit of a stir. Stir. Just a little. There we go. Potatoes do have a tendency to soak up that salt. So you may have to add a little additional salt to your casserole. You need to sample it. Now we're going to put some of this in here over the top. Smells really good. Making me hungry. There we go. I'm going to put that over the top of those potatoes. I'm not going to mix them in. I like the layers. If you want to mix them in, you can mix them in. It's okay. There aren't any rules except for make it the way you like it. And there we go. I'll just put a couple of Velveetas on there. I don't want, like I said, I don't want too much. I don't want this to be Velveeta. I want it to be the casserole, so I want to be able to taste those other flavors. Now, you can, instead of using hash browns, you could use tater tots. And I know a lot of people like tater tots, and that would be yummy too. But I like this Southwest style. I like the Southwest style hash browns. This is going to cook for 30 to 45 minutes at 375 degrees. Okay, look at this. Smells wonderful. The whole house smells like a tortilla factory. I don't know. It smells delicious. I'm going to serve some up. I have my little Southwest bowl. Oh, yeah. Go ahead and get those potatoes. Look at that. That looks good. Oh, wow. This is hot. You can see the steam coming off of it. Look at that. Look at the melted cheese on top. Oh. Smells good. Get a little bit of potato, a little bit of meat, a little bit of cheese, a little bit of pepper. This is too hot to eat. It's really good. It's just too hot to eat. Oh my, air conditioner is running. Just let it boil on it a little bit. Okay. Yum. You guys, you need to make you some. It's delicious. Thank you for joining me today on Delicious Dishes by Diana. I hope you'll make you some of this Southwest hamburger and hash brown casserole. Join me next time. Shine for Jesus in all you do. Bye-bye.